I'm a huge fan of wolves, but even I know they're no match for most big cats. Cougars, in particular, pose a serious threat. And when wolves encounter one in the wild, you can practically feel their blood run cold. That's exactly what we're about to witness. In a fatal miscalculation, a lone wolf wandered into territory it should have avoided a remote, rocky valley ruled by a powerful cougar. The cougar had been watching from the shadows, perched silently on a ledge, when the wolf showed up. Thin, hungry, and desperate, the wolf had found a fish lying by a stream left behind, perhaps by an eagle or another predator. It thought it had stumbled upon a lucky break. But luck, in the wild, is often an illusion. As the wolf began to feed, the cougar emerged. Silent, confident, and fully aware that this was its territory. The wolf looked up, growled low, and stood its ground. Maybe it thought it could intimidate the big cat, maybe it had been alone too long. Whatever the reason, it didn't back down, and that was its last mistake. With a sudden burst of explosive speed, the cougar leapt from its perch, landing within striking distance before the wolf had a chance to move. In the quiet of the dark woods, a wolverine was feeding on a carcass when a wolf suddenly charged in. Despite being caught off guard, the wolverine didn't flinch. The two predators clashed briefly. The wolf, recognizing the risk of serious injury, approached with caution. The wolverine, already full, wasn't defending the meal just itself. In a rare show of mutual restraint, the wolverine eventually backed off, leaving the prize to the wolf to avoid further conflict. In the unforgiving theater of the wild, knowing your place can mean the difference between survival and disaster. One wolf, however, forgot that rule if only for a moment. Emboldened, curious, or perhaps simply too confident, it wandered too close to the wrong animal, a massive, battle-scarred grizzly bear. The bear was foraging near a river bank, its sheer size and presence enough to keep most creatures at bay. But the wolf, either testing boundaries or just too bold for its own good, trotted by with an air of casual defiance, head high, tail raised, as if it had nothing to fear. Big mistake. Without warning, the grizzly exploded into motion. What seemed like a calm moment instantly turned into a brutal lesson in dominance. With terrifying speed for an animal its size, the bear lunged forward and delivered a punishing bite to the wolf's back, not to kill, but to teach. Suddenly, the tension shattered. A lone wolf burst onto the scene, charging with purpose. The wolverine, caught mid-bite, looked up. But instead of fleeing or showing fear, it stood its ground, low to the ground, teeth bared, claws ready. Wolverines are pound for pound some of the fiercest creatures alive, and this one was no exception. The wolf slowed, surprised by the small predator's boldness. It circled cautiously, gauging its opponent. It was bigger. In another intense clash, two wolves thought they had found an easy target, a lone wolverine. Relying on numbers and strategy, they attempted a coordinated ambush. But the wolverine wasn't just tough, it was cunning. It moved smartly, preventing the wolves from executing their trap. In a flurry of fury and tactics, the little warrior turned the tables, forcing both wolves to flee. It was a harsh lesson in never underestimating the heart of a fierce defender. The wolf stumbled, heart racing, and instantly understood its place. It didn't fight back. It didn't growl. It turned and ran, tail tucked, sprinting for the cover of the trees as fast as its legs would carry it, blooded, humbled, and very much alive. This wasn't a hunt. It was a warning. The grizzly didn't chase. It stood tall and unbothered, then calmly returned to its foraging, as if nothing had happened at all. In its world, asserting power didn't always require violence, it just required presence. For that wolf, the encounter was a brutal reminder. In the wild, respect isn't optional. Now let's look at an eye-opening encounter between a wolf and a cougar. The cougar showed little aggression, but the wolf knew exactly what kind of danger it was facing. Without hesitation, it turned and ran. This wasn't cowardice, it was survival instinct. Against a big cat's superior strength and agility, a lone wolf stands no chance. These two predators typically avoid each other for a reason. This isn't some clumsy herbivore or scavenger, it's a killing machine with the reflexes of lightning and the power to crush bone in a single bite. The wolf pauses, measures the risk, and doesn't gamble with pride. With no hesitation, it turns tail and bolts into the trees. Not cowardice, wisdom. Out here, survival depends on knowing which battles to walk away from. And a one-on-one fight with a cougar is never a fair match. Superior strength, stealth, and agility make the big cat a nightmare for any lone predator. It's why wolves and cougars rarely engage. They've both earned their reputations and the mutual respect that comes with them. In the end, this wasn't a chase, it was a warning, and the wolf was smart enough to listen. The ambush was swift and brutal. The wolf tried to respond, snapping its jaws and pushing back with raw instinct, but it was too late. The cougar had already closed the gap, using its powerful forelegs to pin the wolf to the ground. Then came the killing move, a surgical bite to the neck, fast and final. The wolf struggle slowed, then stopped altogether. The forest grew still again, save for the sound of water trickling nearby. It was over. What began as a simple dispute over a fish ended in tragedy. In the wild, even small acts of pride or hunger can have deadly consequences. For the cougar, it was just another day of survival. For the wolf, it was a costly lesson, one realized only in its final moments. The wolf had been following the scent of food, a half-eaten fish left by the stream's edge. It was a small prize, but hunger can make even the wisest predators reckless. And this wolf, driven by boldness or desperation, refused to back down when challenged. What it didn't realize was that the fish wasn't just food, it was a line drawn in blood. The cougar had claimed this stretch of land and everything on it. As the mountain lion emerged from the trees, its body low, muscles coiled, and eyes locked onto the intruder, the tension in the air grew thick. The wolf didn't flee, it snarled instead, standing its ground.